Hi, ladies. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Trisha Stefankowitz, registered dietitian and nutritionist. On our Health Tip Tuesday today, I wanted to spend some quick time talking about this idea of inertia, or this idea of not really being able to make a lot of changes when it comes to our health and being enough, and that being enough for you. You could be in a season where maybe physically, emotionally, financially, you're not able to make the changes that you desire, but kind of just trying to be okay with that and not having this whole idea of shoulds. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And so that's what we're going to talk about in our Health Tip Tuesday today. We have one more episode when it comes to our mental block series, and I wanted to just sneak this one in there because I think it is something that I think we all struggle with, this idea of, that you have a period where you're not able to make a lot of changes, and just that's okay, because this is part of the health journey too, right? So when we're talking about what the episode is going to be centered around is this idea of when you're not able to do anything when it comes to your health, where you're at, and that you're kind of remaining in this place that perhaps you're a little bit more stagnant and you're not able to move forward in doing what you want when it comes to your health, wellness, or self-care. Maybe you are doing more than you have done in the past. Maybe you are just in a season of surviving and you cannot possibly fit anything else into your schedule. Maybe you're in a place emotionally that you just can't do more. You can't take on anything else. And so I wanted to just remind you that that's okay. It's okay to not do something. It's okay to be where you're at, give you permission sometimes that's all you can do, and that's enough. I think one of the barriers in this stage is that we all feel like we should be doing more than we're already doing, and we feel like we're behind the eight ball a lot of times. And what that ends up doing is I think it keeps us in a place that we may be making health changes that are unsustainable because we're not in a place that we can do them. And so just for clarification, I'm not saying that you shouldn't make any changes to your health. What I'm saying is that if you're in a place and you're doing some small changes, that those small changes are enough for now until you're able to get to a place that you can do more. And if you're in a place that you aren't ready to make a change, that's okay too. Early on in this podcast, in my podcast journey, I had done an episode, and I'll put it in the show notes, about this stages of change. And so one of the things is that a lot of times when we're trying to make an important decision in our lives, especially when it comes to our health, we go back and forth between different stages. And so one of those stages is that you're not ready. And perhaps you're in one of those stages, or perhaps you're in a season when you can't possibly do more than you're already doing, or you aren't ready to do it, or you're just not in a place that you feel like you can do any more than that you're already doing. And I want to give you permission that that's totally okay. I think it ends up being worse if you make a change that you cannot sustain, especially if you already have a history, which most of us do, of failing. And so if you're taking on a big challenge that you're not really in a position to take on, I don't want to have you in this place that then you feel like you failed again when you are already setting yourself up to fail because you're not in a place that you can make those decisions for the long term. I want to also encourage you to let go of this idea that you should be doing more, or you should be doing this or that because somebody else is doing it. You may be in this position that you really want to make the changes to your health, wellness, and self-care, but you keep putting it off because maybe it isn't the right time. And maybe you find yourself giving yourself a million excuses. Well, I want you to let go of that. I want you to look at it for what it is and stop making excuses, because it's not going to get you anywhere. I think it's just having that ownership of being like, okay, I'm not ready right now, and that's okay. Or what I'm doing right now is enough, and that's okay. Or maybe you're in a place that you are ready. You are ready, but you're a little bit scared to make the change. That's okay too. It's just about being in that position that you take the first step wherever you are in this journey. When it comes to this idea of being enough and being in a place that you're maybe not ready to do something is okay. When it becomes a problem is that we may sabotage ourselves, like we just talked about, because we may set ourselves up to fail. We may try to shame ourselves into doing something that we know we're not ready to do. And again, that sets us up to fail. We could end up, when it comes to this idea of health for a lot of women, it's this idea of weight loss is a really big thing in here. And so I know that a lot of women, because you want to be able to make these changes, even if you're not ready, you may be on that back and forth between starving yourself and overeating, or perhaps you're just punishing yourself because you feel like you're not doing what you think you should be doing. So in this episode, I just want to give you permission that where you are right now is okay. It's okay to not be ready to make a change. It's okay if you're making small changes, even if in the future you want to make bigger changes. And it's okay if you are scared to make a change. I encourage you just to take any tiny step forward. And right now it may just be listening to this episode and just saying, okay, I'm okay where I'm at right now. At some point you are going to be ready to make a bigger change, and perhaps it's not right now, but be patient and do what you're already doing, because right now that may be enough, and that might be all that you have with all of your tools to be able to function. And that's okay, because eventually you'll get to a place where you feel ready to make a bigger commitment. So until you're ready, I encourage you to be kind to yourself and to remember that you don't have to shame yourself or fill your mind with all the should-haves. It's okay to be where you're at right now. And when you are ready, as you will be at some point, just be patient and just take one step at a time. So we'll talk one more episode about our mental health block on Thursday, and then we will do a wrap up, and then we will start to do a women's health series. So I will see you guys back here on Thursday, and I encourage you to just be okay with where you're at now, because you will not be here forever. It's just a season that you're in, and eventually all seasons come to an end, and it's okay to be where you are, and to have you acknowledge that this is part of the journey of health, wellness, and self-care. It's a journey full of ups and downs, and you're going to have times that it's easy and times that it's hard. And you may have times that you're just kind of stagnant where you're at, and that's okay. All right. So I'll see you guys back here on Thursday. Have a great week.